Jaja.
Hello, I'm Ziyan.
Today we are going to talk about the graph of demands and supply curve, and secondly we are going to talk about how substitute and complements affect the shifting of demand curve. So why we choose this concept? Because we think these concepts are very important because in our daily life there are lots of conditions like the substitute and the complements, and those two concepts sounds really similar, but they are really different. Really different concepts, and these are what we think that people are easily to get confused. So in this video, we are going to introduce those concepts to you.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the graph of the supply and demand curve. I'm going to draw a graph. Here is a graph, and this line calls the supply curve. Supplies. This line is called the demand curve, and here is a price level. Here is quantity. Here is price level. Okay, the demands. Okay, the point calls the equilibrium, and the demand means the relationship between the amount that people feel and willing and able to produce at a certain price, and the supplies means the relationship between the amount that people are willing and able to buy and the price. That means the supply means the seller, and the demand means the buyer. So this is a graph of the supply and demand curve.
So next I'm going to talk about how substitute and complements affect the demand curve, like the shifting of the demand curve. So I'm going to talk about how substitute and complements shifts the demand curve. So first, I have an example of coffee and tea. As you know, coffee and tea are substitute to each other, and this graph is when the price of coffee increases, how the demands of tea curve shifts. So if the price of coffee goes up, people will turn to buy more tea than coffee, so the demand curve of tea will shift out. So this is the curve, the demands of tea. Like here is demand 1 is the original demand of tea, and it shifts out. So there is a new equilibrium here. Okay, so next example is the complement. Here I have a graph of the coffee and coffee mates. As you know, coffee and coffee mates are complements. People always buy coffee with coffee mates, like those are be using together. So the coffee and coffee mates are the complements. So here's the graph shows how if coffee price goes up, the demands of coffee mate will shift in. So how it works, like because if coffee price goes up, people will buy less coffee, and thus the demands of coffee mate will goes down. So the demands curve of coffee mate will shift in. So this is the relationship between the complements, like how complements affect the. Okay, so in conclusion, those concepts are important in both macro and macro economics, and
So I hope like you guys after watch this video, you can know what is supplies or what is demands or what is the relationship between them.
Yeah, we also hope that you guys will able to draw the demands and supply curve and know the relationship between substitute and complements and how that affects to the demands curve of the graph.